So I've always wanted to talk about the Hellraiser franchise and rank it. I've always wanted to just do individual reviews too. But there's just so many bad films in this franchise, it's a difficult ride to go on. So today I'm just going to rank the whole Hellraiser franchise. And if you want to see a review of Hellraiser Revelations, one of the worst films ever made in my opinion, check it out above. But a lot of these sequels in Hellraiser were made just so they could keep the rights to the franchise. So they quickly got a script that wasn't written for Hellraiser and just writ the Cenobites into them, and it turned out to be absolute cinematic trash. And with that, I just want to go through all the Hellraiser movies and rank them. So let's get on with it. It's no surprise which one's going to be at number 10, is it? It's Hellraiser Revelations. Two dumbass bros cracked the puzzle box in Mexico, and they summoned a Pinhead so cheap it's practically a knockoff action figure. The OG Cenobites were the Vathian's elite: Pinhead, Chatterer, Butterball and the female. They were crafted from twisted human souls. Here, in this one, they're all bargain bin rejects that are barely worthy of Hell's janitor squad. New Pinhead ain't even a proper convert, just some dude with pins and a bad attitude. I mean, just look at him right there. Awful, just awful. This festering turd was shut out in 2 weeks to keep the rights alive. Doug Bradley noped out faster than the cat on a Roomba, leaving us with a Pinhead who sounds like he's choking on a bag of dicks. The Cenobites looked like they were stitched together by a drunk grandma with a bedazzler. It's a revelation of pure garbage. I'd rather let Chatterer floss my ass with chains than sit through this one. And it's probably no surprise to you to which one's at number 9. It's Hellraiser Hellseeker. They brought Kirsty Cotton back for this garbage. For this garbage, they brought a legend of the franchise back. In this one, Kirsty marries a slimy prick who gets hooked by Pinhead for being a total asshole. Pinhead was once Captain Elliot Spencer, a World War I vet turned Hell's poster boy after solving the Lament configuration. In Hellraiser Hellseeker though, he's a glorified babysitter barely flexing his Cenobite credibility. Still got his OG crew with him though, but they're phoning it in too just to get a quick paycheck. Dean Winters stumbles through a plot dumber than a box of rocks while Kirsty outsmarts these dipshits again, similar to the original film, where she just makes a bargain with Pinhead. The Cenobites show up for a hot second right at the end, probably too ashamed to stick around for this soap opera reject of a movie. I'd rather watch paint dry than see the legend Doug Bradley have to go through such dog shit of a movie. He deserves better, and I think he knows it. The title of this next Hellraiser movie just represents the whole franchise after Hellraiser 2 in my opinion, deader. Hellraiser Deader. It's about a chain-smoking reporter that bumbles into a Romanian death cult and Pinhead stuck mopping up the mess. It was clearly written into this one, you can tell just watching it. Cenobites, right? The Levathian's enforcers, turning seekers of forbidden pleasures into eternal freaks. Here, they're late to the party. Pinhead's still obviously the only good thing about this film, but his crew's looking tired. The main character in this film is Amy. She's a nicotine-stained disaster who trip over her own tits investigating a haunted dumpster. The cult leader Winter is a poser who gets his ass spanked by Pinhead's overdue arrival at the end. The Cenobites are like, we've seen worse, and so have I. This movie's a corpse with no pulse. It's absolutely dog crap. This is deader than a Cenobite sex drive after eating at Butterball's buffet. Next is Hellraiser Inferno. This one's about a dirty cop that fucks with a box and Pinhead plays morality cop with his hellish posse. This one again is just one of the scripts that was it wasn't a Hellraiser film, they just threw Pinhead into it just to keep the rights to the film. You should show love to the franchise if you want to keep it, and you know, make a Hellraiser film with some love. Pinhead's squad once revelled in creative torment. Chatterer's teeth clicked, Butterball gorged, and the female purred pain. Here, they're sidelined, watching Pinhead preach like a dickhead pastor. The Vathian's all about order now, apparently. This is a Seven rip-off and has the main character sweating like a diddler on a school bus. Chasing a mystery so obvious it's actually an insult to the fans, an insult to the people watching it. Pinhead's reduced to a sanctimonious prick and his Cenobite buddies are on a smoke break. It's moody but it's duller than a butter knife to the nuts. Fuck this sermonising bullshit. Pinhead's crew deserves better than this preachy crap. I wouldn't suggest it whatsoever. It's definitely one of the worst of the straight-to-DVD sequels. But they're all on par, but you know, some are slightly worse than others, but they are all terrible. The next one, they had to go to video game territory in this one. This one's Hellraiser Hellworld. This one's about a bunch of emo gamer twats that crash Lance Henriksen's rave, and Pinhead's posse turns into a slaughter party. They just turn him into, you know, your general fucking cheap horror slasher icons. But they deserve much better. Cenobites evolve in this one. You get a few newbies that join the ranks, born from dumbass partygoers, but the Vathians still pulling strings. Pinhead gets goofier and just turns into a cheap one-liner fucking slasher icon. He's got one-liners in the originals, but they're fucking great, the monologues he has in those films. This 2005 Fever Dream's got flip phones, shitty bangs, and it's got Henry Cavill in it pre-Superman, getting his ass hooked. Lance Henriksen's the only one not sucking ass in this one. It's brain dead, and I wouldn't recommend this to anybody either. It's the trashy Cenobite clusterfuck that I would hate for anybody to watch without a glass of whiskey. Next one is exactly what I'm doing to this franchise now. I'm judging it, and I want to talk Hellraiser Judgment. This one's about a cop that hunts a killer, but Pinhead's running Hell's HR with the Audit and a fresh batch of freaks. Meet the Auditor, Assessor and the Butcher, new Cenobites under Levathian's bureaucracy, auditing sins like demonic tax collectors. Pinhead is played by a different actor in this one, and he's no Doug Bradley by any means, but he's not too bad in this one. This one is all about heaven and hell, and they clash with angels, and it's not done very well, to be honest. To be quite fair about it. This movie has a low budget, but it's got balls. New Pinhead is a cold bastard for sure, and the Auditor's the typewriter toting sicko I'd hire to scare me ex. The cop's plot in this though is a fucking snooze fest, but the gore's pretty damn good and the Cenobites save it from the dumpster. It's not a total shit show, surprisingly. But speaking of total shit shows, I guess not a lot of people like Hellraiser Bloodline. Some love it, some hate it. And in this one, guess what? Pinhead goes to space, and why not? They all do eventually, right? Pinhead fucks with a family across time in this one, from French dickheads to 90s dog lovers, and people in space. We see the Lament configuration's origin in this one too, crafted by toy maker Philip Lemarchant in 1718. Pinhead's still good, but now he's coming along with Angelique, who's quite the seductive Cenobite, and a Hell Puppy that's a very good boy. In Hellraiser Bloodline, Levathian's ambitions do take it to space, but the OG crew's barely there. This is Hellraiser on a bender, French wigs, a demonic mutt, and Pinhead screaming in orbit. The budget crashed harder than a drunk astronaut though, but the insanity is a middle finger to logic. Cenobites in space are fucking awesome, even if Angelique's more tease than terror. Coming up next might be a bit of a surprise, because I feel like a lot of people hated this. People that I knew hated it anyway. And this one's 2022's Hellraiser. It's just about a bunch of junky shitheads. The rich people just craze for Cenobite dick. It's got a new Pinhead that slays it, Jamie Clayton. She's incredible as Pinhead, in my opinion, in this film. And she leads a revamped crew too, and Chara's back. Chara's back, which I can't complain about, apart from his death scene, which is terrible, but Levathian's still a boss. The boxer's lore expands with multiple configurations, fresh souls, and a fresh hell. Hulu's reboot is slicker than a Cenobite screeched up ass. Clayton's priest is a goddess who'd make me beg for chains, and the new Cenobites are flayed perfection. The humans are dumb as fuck though, but the gore's so juicy I'd lick it off the floor. All the old sequels can eat it. Next on this list is obviously Hellraiser 3, which tried to turn Pinhead into a slasher icon, even though he wasn't in the main picture in Hellraiser 1 and 2. Pinhead's a raver asshole in this one, turning club kids into Cenobites with CDs, and he's got biker bitch vibes. Pinhead's unleashed from Spencer's human side, going rogue with a Vathian's blessing. New recruits, CD, and camerahead, and I forgot her name, but the girl that smokes. They're all turned into fresh meat turned tormentors in this one, showing that Cenobites can be mass produced from any old fucking idiot. This 90s Fever Dream's got Pinhead blowing up clubs and spouting one-liners like a prick on a power trip. The new Cenobites are gloriously stupid though. CDs to the face, fuck yeah, it's loud, dumb, and Doug Bradley's sexy ass owns it. Then we've got Hellraiser 2, which is 1 and 2 are probably the only good films in the franchise, in my opinion. And in this one, we've just got Julia back, and she's trying to get back into the real world through this fucking nutcase who wants to take control of everything. And Kirsty's back, and I can't complain. You know, having Kirsty's back is always a good one. Frank's one of the best characters in the franchise, but he's only got a very minuscule role in this one, unfortunately. But this one's definitely the one to check out, sequel wise anyway. It's no surprise which one's number one, and that's obviously 1987's Hellraiser. It's got Frank in it, who's a horny prick who wants to bang the box, and his sister-in-law. Kirsty fights in this one, and she's a very strong character, and Pinhead's just a fucking legend, even though he's got a small part. His role really stands out due to his acting, and how himself and the Cenobites look. The OG quartet in this one is Pinhead, Chatterer, Butterball, and the female. These people are Lavatian's finest, born from humans who crave the ultimate high. These are Hell's rock stars, offering pleasure that rips your souls apart. It's iconic as fuck. Clive Barker's nasty masterpiece is wetter than a Cenobite's dungeon, and twice as fucked. Frank's rebirth is grosser than a hobo's armpit, and the Cenobites are the hottest freaks to ever hook a bitch. Doug Bradley's Pinhead could skullfuck me with those pins, and I'd say thanks to him for it. Bow to the king. Final thoughts. There's only two really good films in this franchise, and sadly it's Hellraiser 1 and Hellraiser 2. And I don't mind 4 that much, to be honest, though. And 3, you know, it's mindlessly entertaining, but the rest after that are absolute dog crap that were just made just so they could keep the rights. And that's an issue to me, because if you're making films just to keep the rights, there's clearly no love for what you own. So why would you even bother? You know, just sell it to somebody and let somebody else have it that's got love for a franchise. And if you're going to spend all that money just constantly making cheap films, just try and make some money from it. Make an actual Hellraiser film, which actually got, you know, they made one later on, but too little too late, because we could have actually had a good Hellraiser sequel with Doug Bradley in it, unfortunately. But only 1 and 2 are the good films in this franchise, and if you haven't checked them out, shame on you. You should go and check them out. But anyway, that was our Hellraiser ranking, and thanks for sticking around if you listen to it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. It really does help us out so much. Anyways, join our damn cult. See you there.